Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. Good evening, you fine chaps and ladies. Hope you are all well out there in the real world. Please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. As always, we thank you very much indeed for your support. We are here to discuss Matchday 17 of 38 in the Premier League. West Ham United versus Brentford at London Stadium tomorrow evening. Duke, is this, as I put it on the description, Moyes' last stand? Question mark. Is it? I mean, have you heard his the press conference this morning? Oh, you know, I've got a really good relationship with David Sullivan, and we're going to do the same thing that we've always. I'm like, oh my God, I don't think he's going to do anything different tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong.
His comment of I've really enjoyed my time here. I think I've done good things here.
I don't know if anybody else in the live chat you could advise me. Is Duke rather muffled?
Yeah, there's a reason for that. It's me out of my speaker. There you go. There you go. That's better. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to speed on me. Jesus. Yeah, as I was saying, in his interview,
hey Ryan,
he comes across and he says, "I've enjoyed my time here. I think I've done good things here." Now, for me,
hey Hammer,
there's a little bit of arrogance. There's a little bit of cockiness. There's a little bit of delusion, as Kate says there. I mean, listen, we were kind of, it was insinuated they'd have 3 games by the time we come back from World Cup, right?
And he needed to get 5 points by all accounts.
Well, unless he absolutely rocks up at the London Stadium tomorrow night with a game plan that, well, listen, unless he turns up with a game plan that minus the personnel, Rob, looks something a little like that, different personnel wherever you want to go.
That's Areola in between the sticks, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's how he has to line up tomorrow. Okay, I'm not saying that's how he has to line up. I mean, listen, we know for a fact that Ashby isn't going to Ashby isn't going to be there.
He won't play all the time. I've got a hole in my arse.
Again, it just depends on whether he's fit. Kara has an absolute ricket in him every game. Johnson, shall we say, the jury's still out there.
Mm-hmm.
Rice probably won't want to play on his own there, right?
Tough shit.
And then, well, that's my fault. My thoughts on it. And then, you've got your five there. Now, my idea behind that, Rob, was when we did the review of the Arsenal game, was the fact that when you look at this one, which shows how deep we defend and how many times we allow the other team to have a pass. You have a look at this and it tells you who has more than 55% possession in segments. They're red, we're blue, and the grey area is exactly that. It's a grey area. It's contested. Well, that formation or those graphics, Rob, are very much based on the fact that we have two of the slowest centre backs in the league when we have
Stephen Keith,
Craig Dawson, and we have Angelo Ogbonna in there. Ogbonna isn't blessed with pace. He's blessed with long legs, which means his strides do help because he's kind of got giraffe-like legs. But we have to sit deeper allegedly because of that situation. Because if we try to press too high, I'm not saying that should be. Kate, but that's my idea.
I think what largely you're
formation.
saying is that you want to see something different. You want to see him sort of say, look, we've had 16 games and it hasn't fucking worked, hence why we're in 16th place after £180 million spent in the summer. You want to see him try something different instead of doing the same thing over and over again.
Well, those red boxes, Rob, right?
Probably
those
not
red
Alan.
Boxes, those red boxes are the opposition's total control over us in the Premier League. Those red boxes, right? The concern is they have more touches down our right-hand side in the final third than we do, right? That's a worry right there straight off the bat. The fact that we cannot gain control of the game higher up than the final 2/3 of our pitch is a real worry. Right, and by playing a formation, like I say, not necessarily the personnel, but by playing that sort of formation where you have 5 players further forward to put pressure under the forward line. Why am I going so fast in my video? To try and put some pressure, their back line, to try and put some pressure on. I'm still here. On the fact that we need to try and defend higher up the pitch. What was the phrase? Attack is the best form of defence, Rob. And by getting close to them up front, by using a left and right winger to close down their left and right backs, to use one of your centre midfielders, i.e. in this case Paqueta or Benrahma, of 2 centre backs off of Scamacca, and Scamacca takes the other one. What you're doing is you're not giving them an out. You then use Benny or Paqueta to pick up one of their holding players that doesn't give them an out. And then what they have to do is they have to hit and hope. They have to put the long ball out there. Now, unless Moyes decides tomorrow that we need to defend higher and we need to do exactly what I've just spoken about, nothing changes. The same shit continues. The results stay the same. And frankly, he ends up out of a job. And we go into January in the transfer window looking for a new manager. You know what? I can agree with that as well.
Tell you what, just while you're talking, Duke, if you guys in the live chat, and I've starred your one, Hammer 89, but I'd be really interested to know the rest of you guys, because I'm sure every single one of us has an opinion on if we was in the hot seat, we would do this. So please get stuck in live chat. Put it in there, guys. Don't let me down. I want to know your 11. I want to know your formation. What would you pick? What would you want to see out of David Moyes tomorrow? Get it in there in the live chat, and we'll pick through it and see what we can get.
My concern is, Rob. All right, my concern is, and this is,
I like that. I got to say,
this is my concern. Is he can pick whatever formation he wants, Rob. He could go 3-3-4 for all I give a shit. Right?
Mhm.
He could go 3-3-4. He could go 4-2-4. Whatever.
He won't, but
No, he can. It doesn't matter. What happens is his in-game management and his tactics on the pitch. He could go 4-2-4, but then he'll turn around and go, okay, Deck, when we're out of possession, I want you to drop in at centre back. I want the forward four to drop in to create a five in the middle of the park, and I want the striker to drop back to our halfway line when we're not in possession. It doesn't matter what formation he plays, Rob. Like I say, he can play whatever he wants, unless he changes the tactical setup, i.e., pardon my French, stop fucking defending so poxy deep. Stop sitting so fucking close to our goalkeeper. Stop worrying about the fact that what if they get in behind us? What if they take us down on the wing?
coward.
What if my grandma had bollocks?
Yep.
She'd be my granddad, right? You can't live your life. You can't manage a game of football on the back of what ifs, right? You have to go out and you have to be the best you can be. You have to want to win. And it's that simple. And unfortunately, regardless of how he sets us up and with what tactics and what formation, what formation and what personnel, doesn't make any difference to me unless the tactics are changed. The tactics are the problem, not necessarily the formation. The formation could be fine, Rob, because what you can do is, as I've already alluded to, in a 4-2-3-1, is your front four press their back four. So if it's Benrahma on the left, he takes their right back. If it's Bowen on the right, he takes their left back. Antonio or Scamacca take the centre back, and Paqueta then takes the other one. What happens then is you ask Declan Rice and Souček or Downs to push slightly further forward to take on their central midfielders if they play the same sort of dynamic as we do. Doesn't matter what way what formation you play, what personnel you play. It's he has the tactics wrong every single game. It's defend. It's okay. Let them have the ball until they get within 2/3 of our box, 1/3 of our box. And unfortunately, you can't defend like that against some of the world's best teams in the world's best league, shall we say. You can't do that.
Most
You will be
entertaining, sure.
punished. You will be punished over and over and over again. So, I know you've got your line-up and I know you've got your set up there. And it's all well and good to see everyone else and how they'd like to set up as well. Because, I do like to see if... I would like to see if others kind of agree with me in what I'm saying about formations, or whether it is just, whether it isn't just the tactics like I think it is, So unless you change the formation and personnel don't matter two jots in the simple reaction as to where we are right now, it's tactics, it's game management. And unfortunately, David Moyes is so set in his ways that...
ain't that the truth?
That's not going to change. I saw something, Rob, on the revolution that's happening in a certain part of the northeast. A certain Mr. Carrick took over Middlesbrough, and they were 22nd in the league. He's had 8 games in charge. They've won 5, drawn 2, lost 1. They now sit 10th and 4th in the Form League, based on the last 8 games because of what he's instilled and the formation and in-game tactics that the man is playing. I will send you a couple of others. I'll send you the link. It makes for some incredible viewing, and you can tell exactly who he's learnt off of in the past. But the fact, well, no. The fact that he has taken what was a side that were absolutely floundering and bumbling their way through a season to now on the cusp of, being in and around that playoffs. I'm not saying I want Michael Carrick. Let's clear that up. It's just,
Not right now.
But... No. But it also says to me that you've got young, innovative managers out there that should be the way to go now, not relying on what I'd consider to be the dinosaurs of the game. I think it was Gonzo on his morning video that was talking about Kenny Dalglish when he went back for his second stint at Liverpool, and he was talking about how he didn't want to have to do the the media commitments. It was a man that fell out of love with the game, and the arrogance and everything that I'm seeing with David Moyes is kind of trending towards the same way that I feel with him. I think he's losing his enjoyment, shall we say, of managing a football club, especially with a very vocal fan base like we have. I'm not being funny. I think he's almost at the point of this. I think he's almost here in Big Sam terms.
He's already done that, hasn't he? There's a lot of experts out there.
Yeah, no, he's slagged us off. And fair enough then. Yeah, he's already there. And unfortunately, we've turned on him. And you know what? We won't stop until we get our way, unfortunately. So I do believe...
One or two things needs to happen, isn't it? It's either he changes his ways, which, based upon what he said today at the press conference, I don't envisage will happen, and we'll get into what I believe the lineup will be momentarily. Yeah. But one or two things has to happen. He either has to change his ways, which I don't think, on the basis of what he said today, will happen, or he goes.
No,
or he goes. Because we are. If what he said today is, we're gonna keep on doing what we're doing, Really? That's not really got you too much in the way of success. And it's all very well him turning around saying the last 2 seasons, this, that, and the other. Right, let's break it down. This calendar year, in Premier League football, we have been shit. This season, if you want to separate off sort of like the end of last season and just concentrate on this, we've been shit. Whichever way you look at it, David, we've been shit.
Yep.
Now, one other criteria that you are judged on, Mr. Moyes, is your transfer business. Your ins, your outs. If you can sort of like wheel and deal and make a few quid and blah, 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 blah. £180 million. You were backed by Gold. Whatever you want to say about Gold, Sullivan, Brady, Kretinsky, good, bad, or indifferent. He was backed. He was given 180 million quid. Go do. Tell us what you need. We'll get it. Fine. Bang. 8 players. A £50 million outlay on a Brazilian playmaker, 35 million outlay on an Italian striker, so on and so forth, right? None of those signings really have been a rip-roaring success. I would say Flynn Downs has probably been the best, in my opinion,
the surprise,
when he's been used.
Yes.
Which he hasn't been used that much. The rest of them, not good enough. Not good enough. They might come good. But right now, we got to say it is not good enough. Cheers. Right. I want to sort of. I'm going to go and just get rid of the banner at the bottom, and I'm gonna show you guys. This is what I suspect the starting 11 will be tomorrow against Brentford. It's not what I would pick, and I'll get into what I would pick later down the track. This is what I think David Moyes is going to put out tomorrow. Let's see. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think he's going to change a fucking thing from Arsenal. With regret, that is absolutely not the 11 that I would pick at all. But that's what I think David Moyes is going with tomorrow, because he's already turned around and said it in the press conference that, we're going to carry on doing whatever, blah 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 blah, and it just comes across to me that he just thinks that there's no problem here. It's absolutely fine. I mean, Gonzo said it on one of his videos. He's in a burning building and he hasn't even smelt the smoke. He doesn't even know it's on fire. I just think the guy just has his head in the sand. I don't think he has a absolute clue, with regret. And I think that the 11 that played against Arsenal and got beat against Arsenal is the same 11 that's going out. There it is. You can all see it, guys. You know what it is. I accept that Aguerd is very likely not going to make it. I accept that Skamaka is very likely not going to make it. That's fine. Kurt Zouma, we know, is out. But Flynn Downs, why not give him a go? Move Lucas Paqueta alongside Declan Rice. Change something. Change anything. You've got options, Mr. Moyes, but you choose not to make them. Yeah, I would have Areola in goal, 100%, because I think that in terms of their goalkeeping prowess, there's probably not an awful lot to choose between Fab and Areola. I think, in fairness to Fab, he had a bad error the other night. I think in terms of what he's offered this season, I actually think he's been pretty good. But I think he will get our counter-attack going that much quicker than Fabianski does, which he doesn't. I possibly would be inclined to put... I thought Cresswell had a poor game the other day. I don't know. Maybe put Johnson there. Maybe put Emerson there. I don't know. Change it up. Do something different, because what we've done is rinse and repeat, and it's not worked. Even the games we've won this season in the Premier League, we've been arsehole lucky. That's me. What do you think? That's what we're seeing tomorrow, isn't it?
Oh, listen. I look, right. There's a few. What's that? There's a few.
Got a few of your comments, guys. I will go through your teams in a minute.
There's a few comments in the chat. Moyes won't change a thing, and that team will struggle, and
yeah, it will.
Right? No, it won't, Rob. Right? That team won't struggle if we play the right tactical game. Okay? If we decide to defend from the front and Benrahma, Paqueta, Bowen, Antonio take one each of their back four, their back three.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Press as a unit.
And press high, get close, don't let them play out. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then, no, they won't struggle. Because guess what? We did that last year.
Mm-hmm.
Got to a European semi-final, finished 7th in the league by playing football. We pressed. Okay? Now, if we're out, and the idea is to let them have the ball in their half and let them have the ball 20, 25 yards into our half, then we're going to get smashed off the park. We are going to get played around like... I'm not going to make the analogy I was going to, but let's just say it included Jimmy Savile. We will be interfered with quite greatly tomorrow if we aren't careful, right? If we play like we played against Arsenal and let them have as much possession and time on the ball and space and everything else that we did with Arsenal, we will be molested. There's no two ways about it. They will literally have our pants down and that'll be it, right? If we come out and Moyes decides to turn around and go, okay, the front four, you press as one. Antonio, centre-back. Benrahma, left-back. Right-back, sorry. Bowen, left-back. Paqueta, the other centre-back. Deck, Tom, one of you two press. If one of the midfielders goes to receive the ball when the others are pressing, you take that spare man. Get ready for the ball then to be humped long, hoofed, whatever you want to call it. Deck or Tom, one of you two pick up the second ball when Kara or Craig win the header. get the ball down, we start playing again. And because we do that, they're so far back on the back foot, i.e. defensively, they're going to be, by the time they push up when we've won the ball back, they're only going to be pretty much sitting where Paqueta is on your graphic right now, Rob, right? And if they do get forward, we've got the pace of Antonio to just turn around and go to him. Right, if they take you all back to the halfway line, mate, get back to the halfway line and get on your fucking horse and go. Because that ball from Deck or Craig is coming. Just be ready to turn and get on your fucking bike and go. And you know what? Because of that, because we're going to be pressing them so high up the pitch, and we know most teams right now like to play out from inside their 6-yard box.
Yeah.
We know that they like to receive the ball inside their 18-yard box and try to play out. Don't give them the chance. Let's make them move it long for our two centre-backs who are strong in the air, for our central defensive midfielders in Rice and Souček, who are strong in the air to win the first ball. Recycle the second ball and we go again, and we have got them pinned. We have got them pinned back, right? I made a comment earlier, and I know people are going to say about the quality of players. I know that people are going to say about the quality of manager, right? But let's make comparisons where we can. I watched a team last night play against Leeds United. Okay. Now, we all have our own feelings about Jack Grealish. Okay, he's a diving, pretty playboy, all the rest of it, right?
Yep.
But I'd like to point out, I think Pep has been going, stop doing it. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. You're a talented footballer. Stay on your feet and let that do the talking. I watched him last night, and they kicked him from pillar to post at times. And you know what? There was one point where he jumped up and he got up in the face of one of the players, and the short little black lad came flying in out fucking nowhere, and Grealish just
Ronaldo. Like, yeah, I saw that.
Who are you, midget? Piss off. Go away, you absolute. Oh, you come to clean me like fuck off, we are. You look like you're straight out of the fucking youth team. Piss off. And then he was like, and he kept
I like that attitude though from him. I thought that was.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of time for it, but it was the fact that Grealish is going. Grealish had I tell you what, Grealish had a little bit of Ibrahimovic about him in that moment. It's like, fucking, excuse me, Jermaine, fuck off, like that, right? But my point is, Pep's turned around and he's coached the shit and the bullshit out of these players. He gives them a certain style of play, okay? He gives them tactics. He tells them what he really wants them to do, but he also says, go out there and play, right? Go out there and do what you do best, essentially. And Haaland is doing exactly that, right? And I cry because I keep still getting gifts of Haaland every time he scores. But he lets them play, Rob. He sets them up in a certain way. He gives them some tactical knowledge, and he goes, okay, but go out there and do you as well. When the time's right, do what you do best. Haaland is just head down, run, bang, goal. You saw his goal that Grealish set up last night. And by coaching the shit out of players, Grealish last year would have gone for goal, Rob.
Yep.
But he's got hold of him, and he's turned around and gone, look around you when you get into those positions. Get your head up. Look, remember when Raheem Sterling scored a hat-trick in an FA Cup final, and at full time he was still on the pitch giving him all of the fucking you run around the back, and he was giving him all of that on the pitch at full time before they go up and get their trophy and their medals.
Was he was still
coaching. No, it was the FA Cup final.
They played Watford.
Possibly, yeah. And he was still
coaching. De Bruyne came off the bench in one. I think he got a hat-trick.
And he was still coaching Sterling on the full time, right? And I love that. Right? And here you are.
I couldn't afford the pay cut, Ryan.
Mate, I'd do it for free right now, as long as they can still let me run my pub. For me, it boils down to give them a tactic, but let them go do. You know, this whole thing with Paqueta, I'm hearing an absolute load of shit, not just on social media, but in my WhatsApp inbox from on West Ham group chats that
Right.
he's shit. He's not the one. But we're not using him to the best of his ability. I made the analogy the other day where Newcastle turned Andy Carroll into a £50 million striker by playing to his strengths. He went to Liverpool off the back of that and was absolute wank. He came to us, we played to his strengths. Him and Kevin Nolan had so much fun together. And I won't lie, I enjoyed that time because I knew one of them was going to score and we were possibly going to see the chicken dance, right?
Yeah.
It was a good time because we got the ball in the box, either or long ball forward. He won the header, bang, Nolan, bang, header. I mean, I remember him, was it a hat trick against Arsenal?
Yeah. Last season at the Bowling.
Right? Cracking with Andy Carroll with them headers. Right? It was brilliant. Right? You got Paqueta, who was saying, I'll tell you what, let me go. Prime example is Pablo Fornals. Prime example is Pablo Fornals. This young lad, when we signed him, and you and I, me and you spoke about him at the Ball, Rob, when I was working at the Ball and you used to come in. We used to talk about, Rob, did you see what Fornals done? You know, the young lad we got coming in the summer. See what he did for Spain tonight. Oh, mate, look at this on YouTube and all this shit. We were doing that because we were excited about this absolutely phenomenally talented,
You may well are, Sharky.
this phenomenally talented and skillful player that we were signing has now become a holding wide player. He's become a defensive left winger, which
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
why not let this player play? Why not let this player do what he does best? You know, same with Paqueta.
Because it
I
means you've got to
watched him.
release the handbrake, Duke.
Yeah, well, there is that.
He's not minded to do that. He's
No,
too
it's
safety
not. I
first.
suppose this is where our problems lie, Rob. We need to get a manager that's willing to let players play. You know, Skamaka isn't an Antonio. You can't expect him to run in and beyond. He can, but not all the time. He's going to get disillusioned with playing with no one getting close to
But
him.
he likes to take players and he likes to mould them into his
That's
image. I mean,
fuck
you've seen what
out.
he's done with what he did with Arnautovic. You see what he's done with Fornals. You see what he's done with Antonio. On and on and on. He'll take a player and go, no. I'm going to turn you into this position. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. You know, you're not going to win them all. But
Arnautovic being one of them, right?
yeah. But I just think with
Antonio.
Skamaka, he's shelled out. You can't tell me that he shelled out 35 million quid, didn't watch the geezer play, doesn't know what his skill set is, doesn't know what he can do, what he can't do. He knows exactly what he's capable of. And yet he's trying to get him to play in a way that didn't work for him. So but anyway, should we have a look at the
15 chins
at the Brentford team?
Yeah, I've got to look up because I don't need 15 chins on Steve's 50-inch TV. I've got a fat neck.
Before I get the Brentford team up on the screen, just a little bit of news in case anybody is interested. We know that we've got Zuma out, Skamaka very unlikely, might be involved possibly from the bench. Don't expect him to start. Same with Aguerd. Don't expect him to start. Might be involved, might not. Maxwell Cornet still somewhere missing, whatever. As far as Brentford's concerned, Christopher Ayer and Aaron Hickey are both out by the looks of things. Frank Onyeka faces a late fitness test. Shandon Baptiste won't be available. He's got an injury as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, Thomas Frank has pretty much got a you know. He's pretty much got a full strength 11. I mean, I think it will basically be this, which is pretty much the team that got a draw against Spurs on the first game back. That will consist of, in a 3-5-2 formation, Raya in goal, back three of me, Pinnock and Jorgensen, or Zanka as he's known as. Rico Henry left, Roslav on the right with a midfield three of Janelt, Norgard, the captain, and Jensen. And up top will be Tony and Burmo. I think it's fair to say that they're a bit of a handful.
Yeah.
And I was hoping when it was announced that before the World Cup that Tony was in trouble for all this betting malarkey, I was sitting there, please, let him be out of the game against us at the other side. Please. He's gonna play and he'll probably score a goal. He'll probably get a couple of assists. So,
Listen, there's some of that makes our life a little bit easier there, Rob. I'm going to make it perfectly clear now.
Go for it.
If we play your formation, we play my formation. All right?
Oh, I haven't said what my formation is. You don't know what
No,
my
this one,
formation is.
like our formation that you put up, right? Sorry, Moyes' formation, right?
Moyes, what I think Moyes will go with, which is what he always fucking goes with.
So you turn around and you go to Antonio Pinnock. The second they get a goal kick, they're in their back end of their box. Pinnock, get up there on him, right?
Right.
Bowen, the second that ball is there, he's going to Pinnock. You're going to me.
You?
Not me. And
You?
then, you. My name's you. You're we.
Me?
And then Ben Rama pushes up on Jorgensen, right? Yeah. Then what happens is you say to Cresswell and to Kufal, whatever, Henry and Roslev, right?
Yep. Not rocket
And
science, is it?
Then you turn around and you go to Paqueta. You pick up Janelt. You turn around and you go to Souček, Jensen, and you go to Rice, Norgard, right? The second that we are out of position, you go stand. And I don't care whether you whop out your cock and you put it inside them, but you attach yourself to them and you stay there. You do not move all the time that they have that ball. Those are your men. You stay with them wherever they go. And you turn around and say to your two centre backs, take your pick out the two big boys up front, right? Because then what you do is you are man to man, right? Ben Mee can't find Janelt if he's under pressure and Janelt has got Paqueta stuck right up him, right? Same with Norgard and Jensen. They don't have an out. Pinnock can't find Jorgensen or me. What's he got to do? He's got to go back to Raya. What's Raya going to do when he can't find them three? Because they have got players at their arse. He goes long or he puts it out of play. Right? It really is quite a simple thought process.
Not for David Moyes.
Do not give them an out. They cannot play a simple pass if a man is ready to go stick his foot in front of a player to deflect the ball out of play.
But we used to play like that, Duke. But what's happened?
Well, quite simply put,
we just amble around now.
There's your proof.
I know.
Proof. And where does that come from, Rob? That comes from your manager saying, well, I'm slightly... Our centre-backs are very slow and they might get in behind. So let's sit deep and let's not play. Let's let them have the ball. Well, if you don't play and all you let them do is stand there and watch, you're going to concede goals. If all you do is stand there and watch, you're not going to score goals because you don't have possession of the ball. Right? Get players up close to their opposition. Get your three striking players to go play up on the shoulder of those guys, right? I don't care whether, listen, if we give away fouls because we get in and we nick the ball but we kind of catch the player, we do 3 or 4 of them and then we get booked because they're not deliberate. They're just, we're trying to win the ball. The intention is there. That's why players don't get booked or sent off when there's a penalty given. They made an intention to get the ball. Yeah, but they were the last fucking man. Proof in the pudding against Arsenal the other night. He was the last man when he took out Bowen. Like, he should have walked. There's no two ways about it. Oh, but he made a genuine attempt. Is that like Hermes turning up this afternoon with my parcels and then saying, oh, we couldn't deliver because we didn't know it was the pub? But it was a genuine attempt. Fuck off. They didn't deliver. It ain't out, right? By the way, that's true. I don't know how much more simple it needs to be, Rob. And it really is that simple.
Mm.
Man to man to man to man to man across the 11 or 10 open play positions on the pitch. It doesn't have to be any more difficult than that. It's simple. It's simple mathematics. Man on 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 man. When they've got the ball, that's what we do. They can't play it out then, Rob. They have to go long. They have to lump, or they have to lose possession, or when they do lump and we win the ball back, we are on the high press because they're sitting too deep because we pressed them back. We haven't allowed them to play out, and then their players get further forward. I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see it, but it ain't hard to do, and that's the scary part.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I normally try and have a little bit of optimism, but with 5 defeats in our last 6, I'm having a hard time. 10 defeats
There
in
is
our last 16 as well, I
Yeah.
believe, which is, yeah, I'm finding it difficult to try and make a case that to be positive. And normally that's quite unlike me. I like to try and be glass half full rather than glass half empty, as you know, but I can't. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to turn around and say I hope West Ham lose tomorrow, so David
I'm
Moyes
not in
will
the
either get
slides.
the sack or is a step closer to it at the very least. I want my team to win. So by virtue of that fact, I want David Moyes to succeed, despite the fact that I think the guy is something of a stubborn dinosaur. I do want him to mend his ways. I do want him to come to the realization that, hey, 16 games into the Premier League have gone and it ain't working. Maybe I need to mix it up a bit. Maybe I need to take that midfielder that 2 seasons ago got 10 goals from midfield, but now is producing stats of 8 completed passes in 78 minutes. And maybe I might need to chuck him on the bench with a rocket up his arse and say, mate, that ain't good enough. And
Can
you
I
can
ask you
sit on the
something?
fucking bench until you improve, and you're going to have to wait for your opportunity.
Can I ask you something?
Of course you can.
How many passes did he make in the game? Attempted.
Well, put it this way: his pass completion was 42% from memory, so he probably attempted 20 or so.
Yeah, I was just saying, if he completed 8, you're probably talking maybe 18. Yeah, about 18 passes. Fair enough. Because I was going to say, if his pass completion was 95%, because he only made 8 complete passes, but he
No,
only missed one.
it was about 42% completion, if I remember rightly. I think the only person that had a worse completion percentage on the West Ham side of things, well, on the pitch actually, was Lucas Fabianski, who had 33% from memory.
But if I may,
Hmm. He did,
West
Stephen.
Ham
That is worrying.
West Ham Network
Hmm.
have just put out it's a YouTube video, I guess. I don't know whether they're live, but it's a video, and they've gone with the headline "Skamaka boost ahead of Brentford game." That's
Mm.
the title of their video. Now I don't know.
Well, I think he'll be involved, maybe from the bench. I don't think he's going to start. I really
No, no, no.
don't think he's starting at
Oh shit, Rob.
all. What? What?
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, there it is. I've
really?
absolutely got goosebumps. My body's just
Oh,
gone cold.
well, it was not unexpected. It's obviously a passing of a
Oh,
footballing legend. But yeah, I mean, he was very ill from what I'm led to believe.
he was. Yeah, let's not hide behind that. But Yeah, that's not
Rest in peace.
possible. I mean, I will say I never got to see him play live, but um, from what I've seen, I listen. People are calling Messi the best. My opinion is Pele is still that. Just because for me, Pele Pele won. Pele is the best, and that there has just absolutely done me hammerhead. Thank you. um, yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, it's
Another
kind of put
legend. Another
on
legend
there,
who
isn't it?
moves on from that era, sort of 60s, 70s. I mean, we lost George Cohen the other week.
Yeah,
And obviously, there's only two left of that team in 1966 that lifted the Jules Rimet trophy. Obviously, Pele was around in that era as well. Obviously, the match that happened 4 years after the World Cup triumph, England versus Brazil. There's that photograph of Bobby Moore and Pele in an embrace, and they're now reunited. And that's a nice little five-a-side that they're putting together.
yeah.
They'll be able to do. But yeah, may he rest in peace. And yeah, that's it's not a surprise, but obviously quite a yeah, wasn't expecting that. So
No,
it's kind of knocked the wind out of my sails a bit. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Martin. Hope you're well. I agree. I think if we go a goal down and we're playing dog shit football and the clock's ticking, I think that is gonna turn nasty. Very, very
yeah,
nasty
yeah,
indeed. So yeah. Um yeah, 3 World Cups, although he didn't actually play in the 62 final. Just to have that out there, he got injured. So
yeah. Now he's still part of the team that won it.
yeah,
I mean,
well,
no,
he wasn't, but
you know what I mean? Squad
yeah,
then.
yeah, he was in the squad. He got injured during the tournament, but he has possession of 3 World Cup winners' medals, and there's not many people that have that. I mean, there's a couple of people that did it, but not as a player. I think Mario Zagallo got two as a player, one as a manager from memory.
Yeah,
So yeah, but 82 years, yeah, he had a good innings. He was obviously ill. I think it was pancreatic cancer, I do believe.
it was. Yeah.
So yeah, horrible illness. Martin goes on to say, can you think of any of our new signings who have been successful? We discussed this a little bit earlier. You may not have been in the building at that point. 180 million quid, and probably the most successful has probably been Flynn Downs, in my opinion. And he's been a bit part player. So as far as Moyes' treatment of Benny, making him a scapegoat always is fair. No, absolutely not. He's been one of our better players this season. And yes, you could pick holes in his technique. You could pick holes in this, that, and the other, his defensive work, blah, 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 blah. We didn't play him as a defender. I thought we bought him as a forward player. So, if he makes cock ups defensively, that's part of the part of the course. It's as simple as that. I think him coming out and naming Benny, he underhit past the Declan. Well, okay. Are you gonna? And I'm waiting for him to turn around and say, I thought, well, okay, you've thrown Benny under the bus. Let's see what else you've got. Are you going to have a pop at Kufal for playing the Arsenal player on side because he was 2 yards further back than anybody else? Are you going to slag off Lucas Fabianski getting beat for a shot that I could have quite frankly saved in my sleep? Are you going to have a go at Tilo Kehrer for getting rolled like a dice by a kid, an experienced international? No, none of them got mentioned, just Benny. So do I think it's fair? No, not really. Not really. But I think a lot of people are now getting the ump with it. I think a lot of people are looking now and going, nah, no. This ain't right. He's trying to sort of deflect rather than sort of coming out. I was quite disappointed, Martin, and I don't know about the rest of you guys. I was quite disappointed he didn't just come out and go, do you know what? I got it wrong. I set up incorrectly. I got the wrong tactics. I got the wrong lineup. I got the wrong personnel. It's all on me. I'm going to own that defeat. I'm going to change it. There's going to be, players that have not performed today are going to get dropped. They're going to have to wait for their turn. I'm going to change it up. Do you know what? I'd have given him a little bit of credit for that. He didn't. He didn't. So we know what's going to happen. It will be the same old, same old. Thomas Soucek will be out there again. And I've got nothing against Thomas Soucek personally. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. And 2 seasons ago, he was one of the best players that we had. I mean, they were talking about selling him to Barcelona for 60 odd million or whatever. He was getting 10 goals from deep lying midfield. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. But this last year, 18 months, by and large, he's been dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, mate, it's nothing changes. You know,
No.
will he get sacked tomorrow? No.
I think if we get absolutely humped, mate, I don't really see that there's a way out for him, is there? If say we got beat 3-0, which is not beyond the realms of possibility. Say we got beat 3-0, like the Burnley game. We lost that game 3-0, didn't we? Do you honestly think, I mean, all this crap about, I've got a good relationship with David Sullivan, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if you're going to be having that good a relationship. I mean, unless you're sort of, I don't know, giving him a hand job under the desk or something. I really don't know. How good a relationship can you have? You know, you've lost.
Obviously, quite a good one if they're doing that.
Well, yeah. I mean, at that point, it will then be 11 defeats in 17 if we get beat tomorrow. I don't see how any manager can survive that. Seriously.
Well, listen, we'll know in what 24, 20, 27 hours, give or take.
Yeah.
You know, we'll notice very shortly whether, well, like I say, and then very soon after that, we'll find out whether he's still got a job. Because I actually reckon if we do get turned over tomorrow, then it'll come quite quickly, I believe.
Yeah, probably. Right. Okay. So, and we want you guys in the live chat to get involved in this. So don't go anywhere. Score predictions. I'll let you go first, old chump.
1-1.
Okay.
I am overly convinced.
That's optimistic.
Well, yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, it is optimism. If I'm honest, very, very optimistic. But it's all I've got, mate. To be honest with you.
Fair. Well, while we're waiting for the guys and girls in the live chat to get their score predictions in, I've got saved up. I did say I was going to do it. So, Duke, just real quick, we're going to go through. I've started 6 comments.
Go for it. Yeah.
The starting lineups of some of the guys in the live chat. Have a look at them. Give them your seal of approval rating out of 10. So Ryan's gone 3-5-2. Areola, Johnson, Dawson, Kera, Bowen, Downs, Paqueta, Lanzini, Benrahma, Antonio, Scamacca. No Declan Rice.
See, I saw this comment earlier and I smiled. I see where he's coming from. I fully get it. I noticed the comments he made after.
Yep.
You know, and the reasons behind why he's gone with, you know, no Declan Rice. And I actually kind of understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been feeling for a couple of days that Dec, his head might have gone. His head might be elsewhere. I've seen some news reports and whatever. So I'm actually going to give that a 7, a solid 7, bordering an 8 as a brave lineup.
Very brave. Very brave. Don't agree with dropping Rice. I know you could turn around and say about certain aspects of his captaincy, but fundamentally he's probably our best player, and I don't think that we could. I know there was a game, I can't remember when it was. Was it Liverpool last season where he was suspended or injured, and we had a good game? I know that, but if he's available, I think you've got to play him. Like I say, I don't agree with that thought process. I can understand it, Ryan, to be fair. Forest Gate Lad came up with in a 5-1-2-2 formation. Interesting. I think it's essentially a 5-3-2, but Areola in goal. Dawson Aguerd, Ogbonna, Ashby and Johnson as the wing backs, I suspect. Rice, Paquetá, Fornals, Skamaka, Ben Rama. Interesting.
Someone's been playing FIFA. It's actually a 5-2-1-2 on FIFA, or a 5-2-2-1. I'm a big fan. I played it. I played it on FIFA quite often. My only concern with that is the lack of pace
At the back.
within the wing backs, if you will.
Okay.
Listen,
Ashby's quite pacey.
Dawson, he's not. He's not electric, Rob, and I've yet to see enough of him to know whether he has the ability of getting up and down.
Yep.
At pace. Do you know what I mean? It's all well and good busting a bollock getting forward, but if you've then spent all of that energy and you can't get back, what was the effort for? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Aguerd will be able to cover Ogbonna and Dawson, as I said before. I've seen Aguerd match pace with Mbappe on certain videos on YouTube from his time in France. So he'll be able to bail them out if need be. There's a lot of creativity within Paquetá, Fornals and Ben Rama. Obviously, they'll be the ones to obviously feed Luca up top.
Rating out of 10.
We go with 7 again, just because I'm concerned with the Ashby Johnson kind of pace. I love the idea of that front four: Paquetá, Fornals, Skamaka, and Ben Rama. I think that's a banging four if you let Fornals play like he used to.
Andy Walsh, Areola, Johnson, Nathan, Dawson, Cresswell, Paquetá, Rice, Benny, Bowen, Fornals. He's missed someone out.
I'm going to go with probably Skamaka.
I'll go Skamaka or Antonio. We'll fill in the blank.
So I'm guessing he's going for a
4-2-3-1. I suspect with Paquetá alongside Rice.
4-2-3-1. Again, you're going to have to ask Paquetá to do his fair bit of defending there, because again, you've got a severe lack of pace in 3 of the 4 centre backs there. 2 of them are crossing the threshold of well, they probably already crossed the threshold of the best days of their career. Benny on the left, Fornals in the hole, asking Fornals to do what Fornals does.
Yeah, I think he's playing Fornals as the playmaker.
I'd have to. 6, because the back 4 concern me, but I like the fact that we've had Areola in goal for these teams.
2 more lineups, unless anyone's put any extras in the live chat, which you're more than welcome to do, guys. Colin has gone 4-4-2, old school, which is this formation's coming back in vogue. There's a lot of teams that are playing 4-4-2 now. It's like a pair of flares. No, in the Premier League.
Really?
Have a look. Yeah. There's a lot of teams that are playing 4-4-2 now compared to maybe 12, 18 months ago. He's gone 4-4-2, Areola, Aguerd, Kera, Johnson, Kufal, Rice, Downs, Paquetá, Bowen, Ben Rama, Antonio.
Benny up top.
Interesting. Like that. He'd be like a roaming forward, wouldn't he? He'd be like a Matt Letitia. He wouldn't be a conventional striker. He'd be
Di Canio, Payet kind of. Yeah, see, I'm for that. I'm for the formation. Yes, I'm actually going to give that the formation. You're going to lose a couple for the 2 fullbacks. I know that's the best we've got, and if we could improve our fullback situation, that could be a winner. I'm actually going to give that an 8.
Do you know what? I think if I was picking a 4-4-2, I think that would be very close to what I would
Yeah,
pick. Possibly the one glaring one that I would swap out personally, just my preference. Probably on the basis as well as what happened the other night. I think I'd swap out Kara and put in Dawson.
yeah. I
But
mean,
there you go.
for me, I'd actually probably replace the two fullbacks actually with Emerson and Ashby,
Okay, interesting.
possibly.
Interesting. Last one, and she did make a little bit of a boob, which was pointed out, but we'll let her go. We'll let her go. She's gone Fabianski, Zuma, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Johnson, Soucek, Rice, Paquetá, Antonio, Bowen, Ben Rama in a 4-2-1-3 formation. The obvious one there is that Zuma's injured, so we'll help Rebecca out, and we'll say okay, we'll put in one of either Dawson or Kara as the
Even
replacement, or
then,
maybe Aguerd.
going forward, once we clear up injuries and stuff.
Mm.
Fabianski, no. Zuma, I'd still stick with a Gerd in there instead of a Bonner. But obviously, like I say, going forward, Ariel, Zuma, a Gerd. I'd actually go Cresswell out of the team. Either Johnson or Emerson in there. I'd actually go Ashby, as you can see a kind of a thing going on there. Soucek Rice, as long as
We know
yeah,
that.
as long as Soucek and Rice. Did you bring that back up again? Sorry, Paul. Rob. As long as Soucek does the late runs and Rice is holding, what we then going? We're going Paqueta as
I think
the
Paquetá is the one. He's the one
and
that's
then
floating behind the front
Antonio.
three.
Me personally, I'd actually go Antonio right. No, Antonio left, Ben Rama right, and Bowen as a false 9. Again, like the
Okay.
roving we had with Ben Rama in the last formation.
Radio.
I give that. See, it's very close to the way how I want to set up with the 4-1-2-3. It's not far off that. I'm actually going to give it a 7.
Mm.
Only because Fabianski and the changes. If there'd been a couple of
Yeah.
changes in there with regards to personnel, that would probably actually be my go-to. To be honest, formation-wise, we know that I like a 4-1-2-3. So again, that's not far off. So I actually don't think that's a bad tactical setup.
So what would your mark out of 10 be?
7 on that one.
Okay. I personally, I'll lay my cards on the table. I think 4-3-3, or if you want to say it as a 4-1-2-3, whatever.
Yeah,
I
variation.
think I would definitely go with Areola in goal. I would definitely go with Rice as the holding midfielder, and I'd tell him that's your fucking job for
Yeah,
England. You're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
it for us as well, mate. I would then go Paquetá as one of the central mids. I'll probably come back to sort of who I'd put alongside him. I'm doing this on the fly.
yeah.
I would go. I don't think that Kufau had a horrendous game against Arsenal. I'd probably keep him in, but I'd probably say, mate, you're drinking in the last chance saloon here. You need to buck your ideas up. Left back, I'm going to give Cresswell a little bit of a pass because up until the game against Arsenal, I actually think he'd had a decent enough season. I know his pace. Is sometimes a bit of an issue, but defensively he hasn't been too bad this season. But again, I think I'd be saying, mate, you need to sort of step it up from what you produced against Arsenal, because if you don't, I've got possibly Ben Johnson that could take your place. I've got Emerson that could take your place. So you're on thin ice. Actually, there's part of me. Again, this is if I was picking the team. No, do you know what? Fuck it. On the right, I'd go Ashby. I would.
Yeah.
I'd go Ashby because my philosophy would be, do you know what? If I play this kid, and if he comes good, and I say to him, look, you stay, you sign a contract, you are my right back for the next 5 years, easy, no problem at all. It won't happen, but I'm talking if I pick it. If he's anywhere near fit enough, I would definitely go with a Guerd, and I would partner him with Dawson because I thought Dawson was one of our better players against Arsenal. So Rice is the holding mid. Paquetá is one of the midfielders, but I need to see something from you, mate. I need to see World Cup Brazil version, not this watered down sort of Moyes shackled version. Go out, go play, do your thing. The front three, I'll come back to the central midfield partner for Paquetá in a moment. Through the middle, Scamacca if he's fit. On the right, Bowen. On the left, Benny. If Scamacca isn't fit, then it has to be Antonio. Which brings me to the central midfield partner. I think I would go. See, now I like Flynn Downs, but I think that you have to put another attacking minded, and Flynn Downs, with all due respect, isn't that. I suppose you could move Rice into a central midfield role alongside Paquetá and put Downs as the anchor. Not sure. No, I think I would stick with Rice as the anchor, and I'd put Fornals, but I don't want sort of defensive minded Fornals. I want Fornals that we bought, please, not the
That one,
Fornals we got
always.
after David Moyes turned up. Can we have that Pablo Fornals? That'd be good. That's just me. It won't happen. But score predictions. Here we go. Hammerhead says 3-1 Brentford. Walshy says 2-0 Brentford. Martin says he thinks we'll score, but we'll lose 1-2. And Miss Hammerhead says we'll set up as per normal. And then I worry we'll get done over in a 2 or 3-0 defeat. How about you, old son?
Yeah, like I say, 1-1. I went probably
You've gone 1-1, yeah.
overconfident. And you know, it's it's one of them because I do feel that there's an absolute chance we are. Yes, Walshy, it's true. I've watched every episode. It's great. No, yeah, I'll go 1-0. I'm overly confident, possibly, but I feel that he might be able to sneak one.
That answers your question. There's the officials. Yeah. I meant to do that earlier, completely forgot because we got rabbiting on about David Moyes and tactics and this, that, and the other. But that is the officials. Referees Darren England, assisted by James Manring and Stephen Meredith. The fourth official is David Coote. The VAR is John Brooks. And the assistant VAR is Simon Long. So there you go. That's your question answered, Sharky. Epics come in. If we lose and Moyes doesn't get sacked, I don't know if I'm going to watch the games until he's gone. Do you know what? I hear that. I don't think you're alone. I think there's a lot of people that are at the point, and you might even find tomorrow that there's an awful lot of empty seats. An awful lot of people that are like, I can't go and watch this shit. I can't watch the dire football. I can't watch the results going as they are. And I wouldn't blame people.
We deserve more. It's what it is. I will agree with Ryan, though, that man should still be in and around that first team.
I did wonder when I sort of picked my 11, sort of like it was between him and Fornals in that role alongside Paquetá.
Yeah, I mean he's still got a lot to offer. I mean, you only have to go back and take a look, Rob, that he last season we were talking about him being back, especially the start of last season, kind of being back to his best before that knee injury. So yeah, I'm still going to go 1-0, and I actually would like to actually see Lanzini tomorrow. To be honest with you,
he could play a part. I suppose I better give my score prediction, hadn't I?
Go on.
West Ham United 1, Brentford 3. I think we're going to get done. I'm not entirely convinced whether Moyes stays or goes in the wake of that, should that come to pass. I hope I'm wrong. But I just think we're going to get done. I really do. I just don't see any confidence. I don't see any energy, drive, determination, conviction. I don't see any of the qualities that you need to succeed as a Premier League team, or at least get some moderate success. We're just treading water. And to hear David Moyes' comments, you know, that basically are saying, I'm just going to carry on doing what I've always done. But it's not worked this season, mate. It hasn't. You know, so you need to do something differently, because otherwise we're getting our ass handed to us on a plate again.
Yep, and that's the scary part. We're sitting here and he's trying to defend the bullshit that he's done prior.
Yeah, I'll say I hope I'm wrong. I think it will be West Ham 1, Brentford 3. And then it just remains to be seen, do they act? Is that the catalyst? Is that the tipping point where they go, we can't. Sorry, David. We appreciate all you did for us, getting us out of relegation twice, getting us this, getting us that, getting us the other. But we have to live in the here and the now. And you've been around football long enough. You know that this hasn't been good enough. And whatever the reasons behind it, whether it's, you could sit there and go, well, I've had injuries to Agurd that's caused a massive problem. I've had injuries to Cornet. I've had injuries. Listen, every manager has injuries, mate. Every manager has injuries. And unfortunately, that's just part and parcel of Premier League management. And your results are generally what you're judged by. And they have not been good enough. So with the greatest of respect, David, if this is me sort of role play, if we get beat tomorrow and beat 3-1 or badly, with all due respect, we appreciate it, Mr. Moyes, but the time has come. Everything has its time. All things must pass. And I know people are going to turn around and go on the back of it. Yeah, but who? Who would come in? Who would come in? Look, if what I suspect
when we get there, mate. Now,
yeah, if what has happened is what I suspect, that he has lost the dressing room, then he needs to go, and we'll worry about who replaces him later. But if he's the cause of the problem in the dressing room, then he needs to go. And I hope he isn't, and I hope he can turn it around. I just don't see it.
So I think that's the sad part, and
yeah. Right. Okay. We're gonna knock it on the head, but before we do, there's two little bits of housekeeping we're going to get out of the way. The first is I'm going to press the big red button. Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons.